15% of the revenue will be going to the school that I have been building in Africa. 15%.
Kai did not have to address anything at all because he knows himself that he is working on this school. But for the people who believe anything that they hear, and the hog writers and the meat writers, he, felt the need to disprove it. I don't think it was necessary, but at the same time, I don't blame him for doing it because it just just take my meat out your mouth. Like, what are you talking about? Kai Cenat just addressed everything. If you didn't hear, this is about the situation where Kai Cenat promised to build a school in Nigeria and fund it completely through one of his mafia-thons. I think it was like 20% of what it made. And people are calling him out for not making progress or not doing anything. Let's check out the video and see how Omizi broke it down.
Kai Cenat, where's your school at, monkey? Huh? Where's your school at?
Kai Cenat did a something. I'm gonna make a school. Kept all millions. I don't blame him. Get your bag, demon. He want that private jet by next year. I know what he doing.
I'm speaking the truth, bro. Where's the proof that it's building schools? This could announce Mafia 3, but where the schools at? Huh?
That school in Africa thing really had me mad, bro, because you really built your whole mafia-thon off of that. You feel me? How you gonna do that and then you just didn't do it? Like, that's so lame, bro.
15% of the revenue will be going to the school that I have been building in Africa. 15%.
Kai did not have to address anything at all because he knows himself that he is working on this school. But for the people who believe anything that they hear, and the hog writers and the meat writers, he, felt the need to disprove it. I don't think it was necessary, but at the same time, I don't blame him for doing it because it just just take my meat out your mouth. Like, what are you talking about? People who hate on people will find any reason to hate on people. For example, all over the internet, you will see people that are saying, oh, look, Kai is only giving away 20% to the school in Africa. Meanwhile, Mr. Beast is giving away 40 million and gave it all away. What are you doing? They do absolutely nothing for charity and then blame another person for not doing as much as other people. Like, what?
Kai Cenat gets a level of unfair treatment that I do not think is fair or equal across the different streaming platforms. Last month, there was a whole wave of people putting out why Kai Cenat is hated videos that were outlining different people on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch that were blatantly hating on Kai Cenat. And most of them, if not all of them, have been debunked for reasons that were just honestly not proven to be valid. Honestly, those situations were small, but this situation with Kai Cenat and his school honestly is going to stop a lot of streamers and other content creators from being philanthropic because audiences cannot control themselves. Going back to March 9th, 2024, Kai Cenat on his tour to a bunch of different places stopped in Lagos, Nigeria to visit, the country, see what's going on with the community and his people, doing his best I Show Speed impersonation. But while he was there, he noticed that this school that they were in was in a bunch of different turmoil.
Hi. But this made me realize in life, you gotta be very grateful for.
Kai is actually there to see what type of situation the community's in, and it's a pretty poor area. And people with their first world brain rot, being on their phone and getting instant gratifications, expect a school to be built overnight or even in a month or two. Getting resources to places that are especially this poor is extremely difficult and takes time, maybe a couple years.
So we're gonna see exactly what they need, what I can do to help them, and then they said the most that I can do today is give them the money give to them to see what they need. This is another classroom, so they learn stuff at. I went to school in a class that's 5 times bigger than this, bro, and we complain about going to school, bro. I'm going to help you today, okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
This building is sinking. The building is coming down.
Okay.
It's sinking, so we are looking for support to bring it down and rebuild because something like that so that it can slum.
Yeah, oh, like to make it strong?
Yeah.
Okay. The whole time I'm here, I'm gonna consistently be making sure that y'all getting stuff. And on top of that, when I even leave, I would like to contact you guys at a good basis. So I wanna see, like, next time I come here, it's a whole different thing. You feel what I'm saying?
Now call it what you want, but this is probably where my biases come in. One, I've worked with Kai Cenat in the past, and from the things that I know, he very much enjoys children, seeing them grow, seeing them be educated. A lot of the videos that he has done in the past on his YouTube channel involve kids. He's done daycare videos, babysitting videos. He is very much pro children. And two, I've been to Ghana. Not saying that it's some sort of desolate place in all of Africa, this third world country that needs hands out, but ultimately there are some places that do need some sort of financial backing, and if you can can, as somebody who is, you know, wealthy or whatever the case may be, it would be good if you could reach back and put that hand out there and give a lot of money to people. So during that time, Kai Cenat had a big revelation as to what he was gonna do for his community, and I'm talking about the community abroad, being the kids in Nigeria. He decided that he was gonna give 20% of his funds from the subathon to build a school in Nigeria.
The process of me building this new school in Nigeria.
And to think that people are being ungrateful at the fact that he's only donating 20%. Let's put it into comparison. People, let's say, for example, Adin Ross donated $400,000 to Team Water to give people water, which is a good donation. This is taking Kai Cenat $1 million and more for maintenance.
Has officially been stamped today, as in terms of like it's a go, okay? So this new school in Makoko for the kids that's live in Makoko in Nigeria, I started working on the school. Right now.
Now this is a W idea. Again, if you got the funds and you can give your handouts to those that are in need, this is great. But this is the first portion where I gotta give Kai some flack though. His next words let me know that his eyes were bigger than his stomach and he was about to bite off way more than he can chew.
If you're Africa or anything, or like Nigeria and stuff like that, and you know the best people that could hands down get the paint job good, get the right equipment they need, and is willing to get their hands dirty for the right amount of money to get paid and shit, let me know, okay? They are working very hard right now, removing what gotta be removed and shit, like getting the school ready and shit.
Now Kai, that was a little bit out there. Granted, I believe Kai Cenat has good intentions, and hindsight is probably...
The only thing that I can flag him for is the fact that maybe he himself didn't understand what it takes to make this, but the fact that he is committed to making it happen, concurrently he still has the drive to make sure it is complete. But it's kind of crazy to me that other streamers give him hate, like Cuffum and all the Adin Ross created people, like I forgot what the other guy's name was, but these people are just an extension of Adin Ross, and because Adin Ross has this beef with Kai Cenat, they by association have to have this beef that they even truly don't feel, but they're gonna be out here calling people monkeys and slurs just because their daddy Adin Ross doesn't like Kai, so now they gotta hate. Isn't that the truest form of meat riding? When somebody doesn't even have to tell you something, but because that person also feels something, you have to do it too. That is the ultimate form of meat hog riding.
2020 in this regard, but there's probably two things where Kai Cenat went wrong here. One, he definitely probably should have already had the people who were in place to get this done. And not saying that he didn't, maybe he just needed more resources to flood to that area. But two, and this is my problem with the internet that is gonna show its ugly head later in the video, is that people want timelines. People want instant gratifications. People are addicted to, you know, something being started today and finished later on that same exact day. So the fact that Kai Cenat didn't give timelines, which this is minuscule flack, this is just for the riders, it may have been best to try to give some sort of timeline. Fast forward into 2025 and the riders are riding.
Kai Cenat, where's your school at, monkey? Huh? Where's your fucking school at?
People started making up false narratives and stories about Kai.
We live in a world where these people on Kick could just say whatever they want. They could just say slurs. They could just say monkey and say all these things. And Kick is supposed to be free speech, so they're gonna allow any hate that is just thrown around for no reason. Meanwhile, the guy is black himself, so it's like huh?
Kai Cenat, to where they were saying that there was these YouTubers going out to check on the lands and that Kai Cenat had done nothing in comparison to others like Mr. Beast and his community and his crew to see if there was some sort of progress or anything like that. They just started dick riding extremely hard. Now there could have been good intentions behind what Adin and Cuffum are doing in this next clip, but people were going even to the extent of pulling in Nigerians from Nigeria to check them to see if Kai was building his school.
Kai Cenat or a different Kai? Which one?
Kai Cenat, he's building a school in Nigeria.
First of all, I do not trust Adin Ross with no news. What is giving me proof that this guy that he has on call is from Nigeria first? Maybe he don't even live in Africa in itself, bruh. And we're just gonna take Adin Ross's word for it.
I'm saying, can you live in Nigeria, so can you confirm for your own self so they can get off his dick online? That's what I'm asking you.
I mean, I saw videos, so that's enough.
Okay, all right.
You just seen Cuffum in the last clip a couple minutes ago talking about Kai took all the money for himself. He didn't build the school. Where's this school that he's building? And now he gets this confirmation from, we don't know the source, he's gonna be like, W Kai, W Kai. He doesn't really believe in what he's talking about. He's just echoing whatever he's heard before. And because he might be, you know, he might just be a hater for the love of the game.
God, man, W Kai on God.
He sees how stupid he looks.
Look, I don't want to bring up racial elements into this so soon, even though I have no problem with doing it. But it's strange to me how when Kai Cenat does anything, especially these charitable things, there's always this pressure to have it done soon, quick, fast, in a hurry, with people having to verify that he's getting it done. But when we see others like Mr. Beast and his crew do any sort of philanthropic things, there's no follow-ups, there's no checkups on it.
Actually, I did see a clip of this guy talking about that Mr. Beast installs these wells in Africa and that they truly do not work. Blah, blah, blah. They said that. And then Mr. Beast sent out a guy to 100 wells to make sure that they work. So it does happen. They criticize, but people are easier to trust Mr. Beast than to trust Kai Cenat saying that he's going to do something. People had no problem throwing $40 million at Mr. Beast because they 100% feel like it's going to go somewhere, which I guess he does have that reputation to uphold. And Kai has never done like philanthropic things before. But we shouldn't just judge him because it's his first time.
He puts out his video, he puts out his live stream, and then everybody is under the assumption that it's just done. People may be able to point to a track record for Mr. Beast as to why people don't point at those things, but from my understanding, they've never followed through with these things. A large portion of that is because it's cool to hate. First of all, I don't understand why people were asking so many questions when there were continuous updates from Kai about the school.
So I'm gonna give y'all some little inside story. We built a school full of classrooms and stuff in Makoko, like over the river. But due to storm, a lot of it got messed up. Like money that we spent, dead got messed up, chat. Like orders aside, like there was a storm, it messed up a whole bunch of stuff. But we're back. To the kids of Makoko, I will be back. I will be back. And when I'm back, the school is going to be done. We raised a whole bunch of money to fund it, and also I will also be putting in more money on top of it to make sure we can fund all the staffs in the school and everybody who works there and shit.
The second part about this is I don't understand why people thought that a school would pop up instantly. And that's the problem with the instant gratification there. This isn't a slight or a knock at Mr. Beast, but I think that this may be a reason as to why people think that this is the reason why Kai Cenat should have the school up earlier. Is because when Mr. Beast does his philanthropic efforts, there's this gamified version of it put on video where people are staged up as to having the final results be put in their face, which isn't the reality of doing these sorts of endeavors. Like, these things take time. I don't know why people thought it would happen overnight.
Why y'all acting like a school takes a couple of months to build?
Now going into this Mafiathon 3, Kai Cenat has promised 15% of this subathon to go straight to the schools of Nigeria, which another round of applause. But because he is him and because he needs to cover his tracks because of the hate that he gets, he is having to do something that people don't have to do on the internet, which sounds crazy, but at the same time, we don't hold people to the same standards, so it is crazy that they're asking him to do this. He has to now prove himself, and I mean over the top prove himself that he is.
He doesn't ever. Nobody ever has to prove themselves. Nobody ever has to prove themselves. If people are talking about you and saying something about you, you don't have to prove yourself because you yourself know that it's not true. But I can understand how you can do it if your name is being tarnished and you're like, look here, meat writer. Look right here. So I don't fault him for explaining himself, but I don't agree with Omizi saying that you have to explain yourself.
Actually doing these things the responsible way.
I don't want to keep y'all holding. I don't want to go into further explanation by me doing it. So I have flown out the representatives from Nigeria and from South Africa to all the way to the US to sit here and to explain the entire updates.
So I hear people have been asking why haven't you yet built the new school? I'm not sure people realize what it takes to actually launch a school, especially when you build it. You need to find the land, you need to buy the land, you need to get authorization from the government to build a school. You need to actually build a school. And then you need to hire your teachers and get your accreditation from the ministry. So for us who have launched 16 schools in 10 different African countries, we know it can't take less than 2 years. It's impossible, especially if you want to do things right, and we want to do things right.
Absolutely. Do things right by complying with all legal and regulatory requirements in Nigeria is important to ensure that we have a school that is sustainable and lasts for posterity.
This is the screenshot of the money sitting in the account. Okay, listen,
so
the foundation balance is currently at 1.1 million. The foundation raised 1.2 million. Mafiathon 2 funds raised that we did was 976,000.
That's so nasty.
Benny Blanco donated 25,000. Thank you, Benny. Shout out to Benny. W Benny. I had a personal donation of 128,000 to cover all computers and equipment. The NFL donated $100,000 as well.
I think that that's so nasty. Not that he's raising money, but the links and extremes that he has to do to verify the fact that he's giving money and being charitable to the community is so sick and disgusting. This isn't some crowd-funded effort.
I can also understand why he would do this. We live in a world where people will just believe anything anybody else says just because they said it and because there's no like certain proof that you can point to. That's just the reality of things, is that people are just gonna believe whatever they hear without ever thinking about it themselves or searching it up themselves. And so that's probably why he did it, just so that he can concretely tell you that he is 100% doing it. And if there's doubts, look right here. To the people who are like ride or die, like meat riders, you will never change their mind. They already hate Kai. They're just looking for things to hate about him. These people will look at his content not for like entertainment, but literally just to pick out what he's doing wrong and what you should hate him for. I think it was a couple days ago, I seen somebody hating on Kai because they said that his dreads are already cut, so that when he finishes the Mafiathon, it's not really him cutting it. He just like attached them back. First of all, the effort that you have to go to zoom in and just look for this strand of hair that's poking out, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But for whoever found that out, you would literally have no life and you literally live your life to hate people. Like, that's crazy. I thought this was a good video to follow up on the last video we did. Go check that out. People who hate on Kai Cenat, they don't find things to hate him for. They already hate him and they will look for what to hate about him. If you have enough energy to be given around hating, you don't have enough energy for yourself, for like doing things for yourself, bro. I do believe, like Omizi said, that it is gonna stop people from trying to do charitable events because people are just gonna be on your ass about it. People are gonna want you to do things overnight. They're gonna want you. They want to ask for proof, which I could see why people would want to see where their money is going. Like, damn, bro. Like, let people breathe. Like Kai said, he did it. He gave a little bit of updates. He said he was doing it. But, you know, people are going to ignore that stuff. If somebody hates somebody, they are going to ignore anything else that the person has done good. They're just going to keep hating on them no matter what they do, to be honest. Maybe you could say that Kai Cenat is not entertaining, you know. Maybe you could say Kai Cenat is not funny and all he does is kind of maybe yell, and yelling is not funny. But if that is the case, bruh, stop watching Kai Cenat. Don't be out here looking at Kai Cenat and be like, this is why I hate Kai Cenat. Kai Cenat is evil because of this, blah, blah, blah. Bro, just ignore him. Shut off your phone, bro. I hope you enjoyed. As always, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps the channel immensely. I hope you have a wonderful day. Until next time.
Head to the stars, 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 head to the stars.